Assalamu alaikum, welcome and karibuni to Aroma of Zanzibar's kitchen. Today I'm making something really special, and this is the iconic bean pie. So for the bean pie I'm using navy beans. This is what my mother-in-law said. It is navy beans, although some people use Great Northern beans. They're small and I've soaked them overnight and then pressure cook them for about 20 minutes. But if you don't have a pressure cooker, this would take about 1.5 hours to cook until it's nice and soft. So for the pastry, I am using 1¼ cup of all-purpose flour. That's 156 grams. And Crisco, this is 1/4 cup of Crisco that is cold. Crisco is a shortening. And also 1/4 cup of butter. You can always use butter alone, but I like to mix. This is the same crust recipe that I have used in my sweet potato pie. It's my to-go recipe that I really, really love. The crust is nice and flaky, but also soft. All right, so we're just gonna, I also added 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1/4 teaspoon of salt in the flour. Then we're just gonna mix it well quickly. You want everything to stay cold, and then 1/4 cup of cold water, that ice cold water, that I added about 3 drops of lemon juice just to keep it fresh. And we're just gonna knead the dough. Now you can always buy the crust. I like to bake mine when I have the time. So we're just gonna knead this quickly, and we'll be ready to roll. All right, like I like to use a one step. Most of the times we do the dough, make the dough, and then keep it in the fridge to rest, and then we roll it. But I like to roll, put it in my pie dish, and then keep it in the fridge for about 2 hours. All right, so you do whichever you find it easier for you. So I'm just gonna roll this into maybe 1.5 centimeters, not too thick and not too thin. Okay, so this recipe is actually for a 9-inch pie dish. This is 11 and this is 7. I don't have a 9-inch, so I'm gonna use the 7, and we're just gonna roll it a little bit extra, and then okay, you're gonna place your pie dish, and then maybe, okay, you want to cut a little extra, maybe 1/2 inch, or you can just place the whole pastry in the pie dish and then remove the excess. That works too as well. So I'm just going to remove it, and then I like to roll it on the rolling pin so it's easy to place it on the pie dish, and it breaks sometimes, but this is a very forgiving recipe, so it's gonna work. All right, so just gonna place it gently, and then just gonna tuck it in well and press it on the edge of the pie dish. Now you can make some designs if you want, and just because I had an extra dough, I decided just to finish it. I didn't want to waste it. So I wanted to take a moment and share with you all about the bean pie. The bean pie started back in 1930s with the African American Muslim community. By then it was, of course, the Nation of Islam. So it is something that has a lot of sentimental values, a lot of history behind it, and it's something that's really, really loved. And my husband loves his bean pie, let me tell you. Every Friday when he goes for his prayers, he has to buy a bean pie. If he can get 2, he would buy 2. If he can get 3, believe me, he would buy 3. So I have made this about 8 years ago, and he said something was off, but he couldn't tell exactly what was off. I have tried the bean pie, but it was way too sweet for me. So I just wanted to balance it. I really couldn't tell the flavors. So he got me, believe me, I think the entire African American Muslim community knew that I baked a bean pie. He called all his friends, I think even his enemies, if I'm not mistaken, and let them know. So eventually I got to speak to one of his friends who is a pioneer in his bean pie, and he was literally interrogating me. How did I make the bean pie? What did I put in there? So eventually we found out there were 2 ingredients that were not supposed to be in that bean pie. To me, it's just a matter of preference, but with no offense, next time I will make it the way he likes it. So anyway, so once this is ready, I put it in the fridge for about 2 hours, and then we will be ready to make the filling. So for the filling, I'm using 2 cups of cooked navy beans. So this will be for 2 pies, but I'm going to show you only one because I wanted to see if I need to change anything, all right? So the spices, I've got cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, ginger, and some salt. I'll write the measurements in the description box. 3 eggs. I've got melted butter. I've got brown sugar, light brown sugar, evaporated milk, as well as vanilla and all-purpose flour. All right, so we're gonna go with the beans, and then this is a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk, and then goes in the brown sugar, 2 cups, and then all the spices, and 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And then the vanilla, about 2 teaspoons. And we're just gonna start with pulse and then mix it well. So I'm gonna taste this before I add the eggs. So to me, it was okay. And then I added the eggs. Everything was balanced as far as I was concerned. The 3 eggs, and then the vanilla. And then we're gonna mix it well again. All right, and then I added the melted butter, and that's it. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. Then we're just gonna pour it in the prepared dish here, and this other mixture is for later use. So got it in the oven, 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes, and then I reduced the heat to 350 for 30 minutes. All right, then once the pie was ready, I got it out and kept it in the fridge for about 2 hours. You want to serve it cold, and it's better the next day, I believe. It is better the next day, actually, even the 3rd day. All right, so now I want you all to hear my husband's reaction or opinion on this pie, since it's his favorite. Okay, so, but it looks beautiful. As you can see, it actually came out so nice. I'm proud of myself. Oh, oui. Okay, so what do you think? Most recipes are same, but I think it's the what do you call, the spices, either more or less.
Yeah.
So what do you think? The texture, the flavor, the appearance?
Texture's fine. Appearance is okay. Sometimes it's a little dark up top, but the flavor. I mean, it's not bad. It's just one thing, like you did last time.
So one thing is what? Sugar?
Mm-hmm.
So I still haven't got it right.
You ain't got it wrong. Yeah.
But it's not like what you're used to.
I mean, it would fly.
Mm.
It would fly.
What do you mean they would fly?
It would fly. I mean, it would pass.
Okay. So would you buy this if I sell it to you?
Yeah. Yeah. It just one thing. I don't know what it is.
Oh, that's what it is. You don't know. Maybe the crust, because everybody...
No, the crust is fine.
Crust is fine.
Let my mother and them try.
Okay, so I'll give you a piece to take it to her?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we have to wait for my mother-in-law's opinion now to see if I pass with the bean pie. Okay, so we found out what was off was the clove and the ginger in it. It's not supposed to be there. And of course, I need to add more cinnamon. Okay, I guess I'm good. You'll have a nice day, and you'll find all the measurements and ingredients in the description box below.